I've been slowly reviewing all the Godzilla movies in no particular order at all. I'm now at the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters. This is the follow-up to the 2014 Godzilla that was directed by Gareth Edwards. I really, really like that Godzilla directed by Gareth Edwards. This one is sadly not done by him. It's done by Michael Dougherty, who did Trick or Treat, which I think is a modern classic in ways and is very much a quintessential Halloween film at this point. Check it out. And then he did Krampus, which I thought had a lot of potential, but I hated the human characters in that movie. I thought the dialogue was terrible, and it just didn't deliver like I thought a Krampus movie really could. Godzilla King of the Monsters feels very similar. Now, Michael Dougherty wrote the screenplay for this, and he directed it. I think the dialogue is kind of awful. I don't know why. The people complained about the 2014 Godzilla movie so much, saying you didn't get to see enough Godzilla, there was too much focus on the human characters. And then their plan for this one was to add like 25 new human characters. There's so many actors in this movie. Like, listen to the cast: Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, Ken Watanabe, Bradley Whitford, Sally Hawkins, Thomas Middleditch. Ice Cube's son is in here. Like, why did we need all these people? There were so many different groups of human characters in this film. Tywin Lannister's in it. There's all these different groups of human characters that they keep cutting back and forth from. Some that are trying to control the monsters to kill the world, which was like a subplot that could have been decent, but it was just done so cheesy. And Vera Farmiga, I just really didn't like her character in this movie. I didn't like Kyle Chandler in this movie. Millie Bobby Brown was okay. Ken Watanabe, when I really liked him in the 2014 Godzilla movie, just came off as cheesy in this movie. And just every now and then these humans being like, the king, the false king, the king of the gods. Like, all this weird dialogue. It's just like, Michael Dougherty's dialogue is so on the nose that it just kind of makes you cringe at times. And from the very opening of the film, when they show Mothra, and there's like a reveal of Mothra, the whole time I was thinking, like, why couldn't at least this be done practical? Why couldn't they have built a practical Mothra and used like a miniature and then put the human characters in front and put the miniature in the background and done it that way? Everything in this movie is so over-reliant on CGI. I feel like I'm watching a giant, blurry video game cutscene, is what it's like watching this movie at times. Now, I do like this movie a lot more than Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla X Kong. While I thought those movies were very, very, very bad, this movie has a lot of good moments, and I really like some of the monster action in this film and some of the monster shots, where I don't think Adam Wingard did a good job at even having cool monster shots or cool monster action in his movies. This movie does a good job at that. Michael Dougherty did a good job with that. There's an amazing scene of Rodan coming out of a volcano. That shot with Ghidorah landing on top of the volcano with the cross and everything. This movie had a lot of potential if there was less human characters, less focus on the human characters, and when they were on screen, if they had less cringy dialogue. And I feel like so much of this movie is people standing in rooms staring at screens. And there's this ridiculous scene where Vera Farmiga's character goes on and on about why she's doing what she's doing, and it's over like a live FaceTime feed. So she's talking to like the rest of the human characters, Kyle Chandler and Ken Watanabe and O'Shea Jackson Jr., and she's like, human beings are destroying the planet and these monsters are meant to restore balance to the planet. But she somehow perfectly had these fucking like clips to go with what she was saying, and this was a live FaceTime that she was on, but she was playing these clips. Like, she would drop a volcano line, she'd play a clip of a volcano, and it's like, how did she have this clip like real package ready to go? And who the fuck was editing this into her speech at the same time? Or was she fucking dragging these clips over while talking? Like, it was crazy and it was ridiculous. Did nobody in the room watching this like movie when they were making it be like, this scene makes no sense at all? How the fuck is she doing that? Did nobody in the room point out this shit? It's ridiculous. Yeah, they should have used some miniatures. They should have used some practical effects. This movie looks like a giant, blurry, out of focus video game cutscene, but there is some cool monster scenes in it. And Ghidorah, I think, was done well. Rodan was done well. Mothra was cool, but I mean, they could have used some practical effects here. It's such an over-reliance on CGI with these American Godzilla movies. It's just video game 2006 Xbox 360 cutscenes. But I did enjoy some bits of King of the Monsters. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think if I were to give it a fresh or Rotten Tomato, I'd give it a Rotten Tomato. But it's not terrible. It's just on the cusp. If I were to give it a grade, I'd give it a solid 4 out of 10. Peace.